Follow my Twitter, the link is in the description. Have you ever wondered what the best sequel to a movie is?
No.
Most normal people don't really care about it, they just think all sequels suck and move on with their life. But me, being the intelligent person that I am, I went through my entire movie collection and picked out some sequels that I want to talk about and see if they're as good as the original or if they just suck and we should move on. Let's get into it. Alright, so you got this great shot of my bed. I hope you like it. So the first movie we're talking about is Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Be that one there? So, I talked about this in my best Christmas movies video, which you can watch right now, actually. So, Home Alone 2 is basically just Home Alone 1, but this time the kid, Kevin, is lost in New York. So, I really don't need to explain this. I talked about it in the other video that I talked about. But, this movie, it's honestly pretty good. Compared to the other Home Alone sequels that came out after this just looks like a masterpiece. Script-wise, it's not better than the first. Script-wise, the original's better. Trap-wise, this one's better. This one has a lot funnier traps, like the one where Marv gets electrocuted. That one's always funny. And the one where Harry puts his head in the toilet and it explodes. Scene will never get old. Harry. So yeah, this one's good. It's not better than the first though, but still good. A lot better than what was to come. But let's move on to the next movie. Alright, next we got Ghostbusters 2. A lot of people say they don't like this movie, and I can kind of get where they're coming from. This one is a lot more like kid-friendly than the original. The original had like a couple swear words, smoking, whatever. But this one, it wasn't a huge deal, but that's the only thing anyone ever talks about when they talk about this movie. It's really not that bad. Basically what happens is Dana from the first movie has a kid, and his dad isn't Venkman, but Venkman kind of wants to be the dad. And then there's this guy from a painting whose name I forgot, and he's trying to possess this child so that it can be evil. And there's a lot of side stuff that goes on. Like Janine, the receptionist, falls in love with the Keymaster guy from the first movie. I forgot his name. And then he also becomes a Ghostbuster too. So instead of using the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man this time, they used Lady Liberty. They just needed something big to attack the city, I guess, for the DVD menu page. But whatever, this is a good movie, and that last thing was a joke for all you stupid people. This one is... it's about as good as the original, but not better. The original's still better. Alright, next movie. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Now, I don't think this movie's better than Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is the first Indiana Jones movie for all you stupid people. I do think this one has a little bit better pacing. The original, it's a good movie, but some scenes are slow. This one has a lot more action, and at the end, I was actually pumped up for it. I actually had some adrenaline going. The original is still great. It's just this one, they definitely improved on the pacing. So, this one's not better than the original. It's about as good. They're like the same, but the original's still better, if that makes sense. I don't even know if it does, but whatever. Basically what happens is Indiana Jones has to go to the temple and do a bunch of crazy Indiana Jones stuff. And you've got this new character, Willie. Yeah, she's really annoying. Like, she was my least favorite Indiana Jones character. And then I saw Kingdom of the Crystal Skull that had Mutt Williams, and he took the cake for most annoying Indiana Jones character. We do have a new character, Shorty. He's pretty cool. And yeah, this is a good movie. I definitely recommend this. And just watch the original Indiana Jones trilogy. you do not need to watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It's just stupid and doesn't add anything to the plot. Whatever, next movie. Austin Powers 2. So, the original Austin Powers was a great movie. I had a great time watching it. And this one was about the same. It was kind of like the same jokes and stuff. But there are some new characters in this one. First off, you got the new character, Mini-Me, which is Dr. Evil's clone. But for some reason, he couldn't be the same size as Dr. Evil, so he's 1/8 his size. Also, Vanessa, Austin's girlfriend from the first movie, is revealed to be a fembot in this movie, so they replace her with Felicity. This also introduces a new character. I'd like to say his name, but YouTube won't allow that, so I'm just going to put it on the screen. He's pretty funny. Some of his scenes go on for a little too long, but he's still pretty funny.
I'm not kidding. I got a crap on deck that could choke a donkey. Oh.
So, basically what happens in this movie is Dr. Evil goes back in time, and he steals Austin Powers' mojo while he's cryogenically frozen. And now Austin has to go back to the 60s to get his mojo, which is where he meets Felicity. And this movie is crazy. A lot of stuff goes on. And it doesn't follow the curse of where a sequel is more kid-friendly than the original, like Ghostbusters 2 did. But there is this, scene where Austin is like, oh, that joke wasn't that good.
Spits.
Well, which is it, baby? Spits or swallows?
And they're just kind of like, yeah, we know that the jokes kind of aren't as good in this one as the original, which there are still some funny moments in this. It's just they're like, yeah, that joke wasn't good, let's call it out. And it just kind of takes away from the funniness. But this movie is still good, and I still recommend it. Next movie. The Karate Kid 2, which is that one there. And this one is good. I don't remember a lot that happened in this one. Like in the original, I remember a lot of stuff that happened in that. But this one, I know he gets another girlfriend. He gets a new girlfriend in all three. And they're in China. And that's about it. I do need to rewatch this. It's on my shelf to rewatch. But this one is still good. A lot better than the third one. And so much better than this stupid movie. The Karate Kid remake with Jaden Smith sucks. I'm sorry if you like it, but I think it sucks. Because people are like, oh, you shouldn't say that about the Karate Kid remake, it's great. I'm like, okay, you can like it if you want to, but in my personal opinion, it sucks. Alright, next movie. Dumb and Dumber 2, which is part of this 2-movie collection. So, this movie, it's got Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels back as Lloyd and Harry, so that's good. And this movie is very weird. Basically what happens is, it starts out with Harry going to the nursing home to see Lloyd, and Lloyd has pranked him for 20 years. Yeah, this movie came out in 2014, 20 years after the original. You get the joke? So, Lloyd has been acting like an old man for 20 years. And Harry's been taking care of him. And it turns out to be a prank from Lloyd. And Harry says that was a good one. But then Harry actually has sad news that he has a kidney problem. And they have to get him a new kidney. But he wants it to be from someone that he's related to. So they go to Harry's old house where his parents are Asian. I don't think that was ever brought up in the original movie or Dumb and Dumber. Which I am going to make a video about Dumb and Dumber pretty soon. Don't worry. When they go to Harry's old house... When they go to Harry's old house, he gets his mail that's been accumulating at his parents' house for over 20 years. And he gets a letter from his ex-girlfriend that he has a daughter. And his ex-girlfriend is played by Kathleen Turner. And she's just kind of like, her whole joke with her is, haha, you used to look good when you were younger and now you don't. and now you've got stretch marks. That's pretty much all they do with her. But Harry does have a daughter, and they have to go across the country to find her. And Lloyd is actually in love with her, the daughter, not Kathleen Turner. He's in love with the daughter. So Lloyd wants to go because he wants to date the daughter, even though he's like 30 years older than her. Kind of weird, but whatever. They get there, and Lloyd thinks that the daughter is actually his, not Harry's. But Harry gets mistaken for a genius at this genius convention, and he has to tell him that it's not actually his daughter, it's his. So Lloyd goes in the back of a Toyota and cuts his kidney out, and he's gonna give it to Harry. And Harry's like, oh, thanks, but I don't want it from you. And it turns out Lloyd actually just took a pork chop out of his back. That never made sense. They never really explain it, but whatever. You just gotta watch this movie in order for it to make sense. So then Harry says, it's just a prank, bro. And they walk off into the sunset. And it turns out the daughter isn't either of theirs. It's actually someone else's. Because Kathleen Turner did some stuff with some people. Okay, next movie. Madagascar Escape to Africa. This movie is actually better than the original, in my opinion. This is one of the very few cases where I actually think the sequel is better than the original. The jokes in this are much better, and there's a lot of like pop culture references in the original. There are some in here, but they actually use them as a joke to be funny. And every character has something to do in this. Like, they're going back to Africa, obviously. So Alex has stuff to do with his parents, and then there's this evil lion who's voiced by Alec Baldwin, of all people. Boss Baby? But this movie's good. Watch it. Better than the original. Also, there's this other character named Moto Moto. The internet loves him. Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Okay. This movie kind of sucks. It's not bad, but it's not good either. And honestly, aside from a few cuss words and sex jokes, this could be Baby's first Marvel movie. This is PG-13 for really no reason other than what I said earlier. It just kind of follows a lot of the same tropes as the original. Human Torch is a jerk. Thing gets mad at him. And they have to do the same thing as last time, where we have to see the Invisible Woman with no clothes on, because we gotta get them dollars. Also, Mr. Fantastic has his wedding ruined with her for like 500 times because plot relevance. Yay! Yeah, this movie is kind of boring and not really good. You can watch something way better like Spider-Man, Avengers, whatever. This movie, while not being really bad, it's not good either. Don't really recommend this unless you're like a diehard Fantastic Four fan or Marvel fan or whatever, but it's fine, whatever. Next movie. The Santa Claus 2. So, you know how I said there's a curse where sequels are always more kid-friendly than the original? Yeah, there is no better example of that trope than this movie. The sequel can either be a lot darker than the original or a lot more baby-fied than the original, and this one is the latter of the two. I remember really liking this one when I was little, but we just don't need it. The original Santa Claus movie is good, and we just don't need this, or Santa Claus 3, or the stupid show on Disney+. Holy crap, I hate that show on Disney+. Whatever. Basically, in this one, Santa has to get married or he won't be Santa anymore. And he finds this principal woman that's mean for like the first 30 minutes. And then her heart grows 3 sizes that day in Whoville, they say. And it's just a bunch of boring stuff. They have this whole subplot about the plastic Santa. He's kind of funny. just because of how over the top and ridiculous he is. And yeah. This movie's also rated G, where the original's rated PG. Just wanted to point that out. Evan Almighty. So there was a weird phase in the late 90s, early 2000s, after Jim Carrey pretty much ruled the world, that companies wanted to make sequels of his movies, but they couldn't get Jim Carrey back. Now there's actually a story behind this. When Jim Carrey did Ace Ventura 2, it was a rushed movie and he couldn't have as much creative freedom in it as he could the original Ace Ventura. So he didn't really like sequels. The only sequels that he has been in was Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls, Dumb and Dumber 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I don't remember what the other one is. So there's 4 Jim Carrey-less Jim Carrey movies. This is one of them. Then there's Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura Jr., and Son of the Mask, the worst movie ever made. Yeah, basically this one just picks up where the last one left off, but with Evan instead of Bruce. This is based off of Bruce Almighty, for all you people who don't know. And yeah, this one sucks. That's all I have to say. Like and subscribe, bye.